Breaking news coming in at this hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulates CP Radhakrishnan, also meets VP-elect at Union Minister Prahlad Joshi's residence. The visuals are coming in of the Prime Minister congratulating along with NDA MPs who gathered there to celebrate this massive victory in the vice presidential elections. Remember, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while congratulating CP Radhakrishnan on winning the vice presidential election, said that his life has always been devoted to serving society and empowering the poor and marginalized. He is confident that CP Radhakrishnan will be an outstanding vice president who will strengthen the constitution. We have Aishwarya Jain also joining me with more details. Aishwarya, to give us the latest, what next can be expected?
Well, that's right. In fact, from Prime Minister to Home Minister of the country, all have arrived over here. The top leaders from the NDA here at Prahlad Joshi's residence, which was the camp office of CP Radhakrishnan, who emerged victorious in today's vice presidential polls, and all congratulated him. It would be, of course, on 12th, we have been told, as far as sources are concerned, that there might be a ticking ceremony of CP Radhakrishnan at the President's house. But more importantly, the kind of numbers that have emerged had sent out ripples across the India bloc. It is the Congress party who usually claims that it is 320 to 325 MPs that are the India bloc Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha MPs. But certainly it was just 300 where Sudarshan Reddy got the votes in favor of him. So who were those 15 candidates, the MPs who voted in favor of CP Radhakrishnan? And the sources within the India bloc clearly suggested that it might be Aam Aadmi Party or Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray camp, or few of the independent MPs as well. But it is many of the leaders that we have spoken so far who have arrived over here at Prahlad Joshi's residence. It is an expected victory for them. They stated that some of the opposition MPs have given a trust in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership, and the kind of candidate CP Radhakrishnan was, it is certain for several of the other MPs who have cross-voted from the opposition parties to vote in favor of CP Radhakrishnan. So a thumping victory, but certainly many in the NDA faction have stated that this victory will also send across a huge message to the election that is going to be in the state of Bihar, and certainly the kind of unity that the NDA faction have shown, and the kind of unity that we haven't seen in the India bloc. Perhaps that would be also another message that these elections will send across to the state of Bihar.
Absolutely correct. Thank you so much, Aishwarya, for joining us with those updates. Maharashtra Governor CP Radhakrishnan, the NDA candidate for the post of Vice President, will succeed Jagdeep Dhankar in the post. The 68-year-old sailed through the election, scooping up 452 first preference votes, leaving opposition candidate and retired Supreme Court Judge B. Sudarshan Reddy trailing with 300 first preference votes. While 754 votes were cast, 15 were found to be invalid. Of the valid votes, Mr. Radhakrishnan got 452 first preference votes. Justice Reddy got 300.
On the development, I will, in the new capacity, I will try my best for the development of this nation.
But sir, earlier we have seen that the opposition raised so many questions. Do you think you got new responsibility now? They will support opposition. What is your message? Sir, Mr.
In democracy,
yes,
ruling party as well as opposition, both are important. It is the two sides of the same coin. The interest of the democracy will be taken into account.
Sir, Mr. Kharge seems to have lost faith in VP post, sir. He is saying that he would expect you to have that equal footing for opposition, and he's also saying that you won't succumb to the dispensation.
Every post is important, but every post has its own limitations. We have to understand that, and we have to work within that framework.
Thank you.
Thank you. See,
His first reaction after being
ideological fight But from the voting pattern, we understand the nationalistic ideology is overwhelmingly victorious.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Sir, congratulations.
That was Vice President-elect C.P. Radhakrishnan making his first statement after gaining and winning with huge margin against opposition's candidate Sudarshan Reddy. The Vice President-elect says that nationalistic ideology has won over every ideology that was there in these elections. This is a big shot in the arm for the NDA and PM Modi as mega victory has been planned and celebrations will take place by the NDA camp tomorrow when the NDA will be planning more celebrations. Currently, the Prime Minister met C.P. Radhakrishnan and congratulated him. This was the first reaction that you just heard after the meeting with the Prime Minister at Union Minister Prahlad Joshi's residence. Shifting our focus to the second biggest story of the day, Nepal plunged into deeper political chaos as Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli resigned amid relentless protests sweeping the Himalayan nation. With Gen Z-led anger erupting over social media bans, corruption and nepotism, demonstrators continue to defy curfews and clash with security forces, forcing the Nepali army to step in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also expressed deep concern, saying the violence in Nepal is heart-wrenching. It's painful that so many young lives have been lost. Nepal's peace and stability matter deeply, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi appealed everyone to maintain calm. Take a look at our detailed report chronicling the last 36 hours of Nepal's political storm.
A 36-hour uprising. Violence, arson and stone pelting on the streets of Kathmandu. What began as a protest against social media ban quickly spiraled into an upheaval against corruption in the Nepali government. By day 2, hundreds defied curfew orders. The government's reversal on the social media ban did little to contain the fury. In an unprecedented escalation, protesters stormed and set fire to former PM KP Sharma Oli's office in Kathmandu and later his private residence in Balkot. The president's residence was not spared either. Mobs forced their way inside, ransacked the property, all captured on camera. Nepal Finance Minister was dragged out on the streets and thrashed in broad daylight. Ex-Nepal PM Sher Bahadur Deuba and his daughter were assaulted by an angry mob. The parliament complex in Kathmandu was set on fire. Visuals showed thousands of protesters storming the parliament as plumes of grey and black smoke arose in the area.
Nepal's parliament is burning. Nepal's parliament is completely gutted. Even as we witness this in front of our eyes, history actually witnessed here on NDTV. You can see right behind us, completely charred building of Nepal's parliament. Once a seat of democracy, once a seat of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli and several other, parliamentarians who have come in here. And there are thousands of people who have converged here. But these are the visuals coming on your screen of Nepal's parliament, completely gutted, completely destroyed from inside, from outside. This is the result of alleged corruption that KP Sharma Oli and his government indulged in, which led to the seething anger among the youth of Nepal.
As the violence spiraled, the political fallout was swift. First, the water supply minister stepped down, then the Nepal Home Minister, followed by Agriculture Minister, and finally, under mounting pressure, the Prime Minister, KP Sharma Oli, bowed out. What started as a protest against a digital blackout has now triggered the most severe political crisis Nepal has seen in years, with a government in retreat, a public in revolt, and a nation on the brink. Bureau Report, NDTV.
In Nepal, scenes of celebration have erupted after 2 days of violent unrest brought down the government of KP Sharma Oli. The 73-year-old Prime Minister was forced to resign and flee Kathmandu as protesters torched his office, his home, and declared what they call a victory for democracy. With 19 dead and hundreds injured, Oli's ouster now echoes the turmoil that toppled governments in Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. Our next report on Nepal's Gen Z uprising and the fall of a leader. Take a look.
Celebration erupts on the streets of Nepal. Thousands mark what they call a victory for democracy. After 2 days of intense unrest, the government of KP Sharma Oli has fallen. Amid the turmoil, Oli was seen fleeing Kathmandu in a helicopter, just hours after protesters stormed his office and set his private residence ablaze. The 73-year-old leader announced his resignation following the deaths of 19 protesters and over 400 injuries during the Gen Z-led demonstrations. Oli, who served as Prime Minister twice, first from 2015 to 2016 and again from 2018 to 2021, had in the past blamed internal party rivals for attempts to unseat him. His fall now adds to Nepal's long history of political turbulence, with 14 governments in just 17 years. The turmoil in Nepal bears an uncanny resemblance to the anti-government protests that toppled the government of Sheikh Hasina in Bangladesh in August 2024 and the People's Revolution in Sri Lanka that ousted the Rajapaksa regime. In just 2 days, Nepal's youth have done what many thought impossible, toppling a government rooted in corruption and authoritarianism. KP Sharma Oli's exit is not just the fall of one man, it is the collapse of a political structure that failed to listen, failed to change, and ultimately failed its people. Bureau Report, NDTV.
There is no end to the mob violence that has emerged from the Gen Z protest in Nepal. The protest, which started against social media ban, corruption and nepotism, is not ending any moment now. Angry crowd is charging towards Nepal government officials. As PM KP Oli resigns and flees, the protesters target former Prime Minister. He was also brutally lynched by the mob. His house was set ablaze and his wife succumbed to injuries. Then, the mob turned towards the woman foreign minister, who was also attacked by the angry protesters. Protesters have set the Supreme Court, Parliament and houses of government officials on fire. The question that arises now is what will make this mob calm? Why is the mob fury continuing despite rollback of social media ban and after the current government has been dissolved? Is the mob justice now the new political toolkit? This remains to be seen as the anger continues to explode. The army has taken over in Nepal. The control is now with the army to maintain law and order in Nepal. Breaking news coming in now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reacts to Nepal protest. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says, and I quote, "After returning today from my visit to Himachal Pradesh and Punjab, there was an extensive discussion in the meeting of the Cabinet Committee on Security regarding the developments in Nepal. The violence that occurred in Nepal is heart-wrenching. It was deeply painful to learn that many young lives were lost in it. The stability, peace and prosperity of Nepal are of utmost importance to us. I humbly appeal to all my brothers and sisters in Nepal to maintain peace and order." This is Prime Minister Narendra Modi reacting to what is happening and the scenes unfolding in Nepal, unprecedented violence taking place, where India has urged that peace should be returned in Nepal and stability is of utmost importance to India. And on that note, we're slipping into a very short break, but don't go anywhere. More news and updates lined up on the other side.